Hi, welcome back to the channel. So this will be the first in a series of videos based on grammar. So the first video is going to be all about grammatical terms and word classes. So the first word class we're going to look at is nouns. So nouns are naming words, and these identify people, places, and objects. Common nouns are the name of people, places, and objects, things like man, house, bed, chimpanzee. Those are things that you can touch. Proper nouns are different as they name a specific place, object, or person. And the thing to remember about proper nouns is that they must always start with a capital letter. So things like London, the names of places, Wednesday, days of the month, days of the year, months of the year. Okay, so what we're going to do is each time we look at something new, we'll have a quick quiz. So if you would like to, you can pause the video here, just have a go at the quiz questions, and then I will go through the answers. So number 1, circle the noun in this sentence. When we arrived, the band began to play. Now in this sentence, I'm looking for the thing, and in this sentence, I'm going to circle band. Number 2, tick the 4 nouns in the sentence below. Last April, John flew to Canada to see his friend. So what I know about nouns: April is a noun, John is a noun, Canada is a noun, and friend is also a noun. And write a sentence using the word cover as a noun. So I don't want to use cover as a verb, I want to use it as a noun. So I might say, I bought a new cover for my phone. And when it comes to the grammar test, you need to make sure that you are punctuating your sentence correctly with capital letter and appropriate punctuation at the end. Okay, so we're going to have a quick look at verbs now. So verbs tell us the tense of a sentence, and you cannot have a sentence without a verb. So verbs are doing and being words. So walk, laugh, cry are physical actions, but they can also be mental, so thinking, feeling, being. We can look at verbs as to be, so I am, or to have, we had. So again, if you'd like to pause the video for the quiz, you can, and I'm just going to have a quick go through the answers. So circle the verbs in this sentence. There were birds flying in the sky and enjoying the breeze. So I am going to circle were because that is my verb. I'm going to circle flying, and I'm going to circle enjoying. Number 2, underline the verbs in each sentence. So Mr. Kane ate his breakfast before the lesson. So I'm thinking about what he's doing and he's eating. I sprinted to the bus stop as I was late. Sprinted is going to be the verb there. Which sentence uses book as a verb? I looked at the front of the book to make a prediction. I'm not sure if that's a verb. Mum decided to book tickets to my favourite show, so I can tick the second sentence there because in the first sentence, book has been used as a noun. Okay, adjectives. So an adjective is a describing word, and it can come before a noun or after a verb. Now, when we get children to think about their writing, we get them to use adjectives to make it more effective and add more meaning for the reader. So if we think of some more effective adjectives for big, we could think of large, for example, colossal, gigantic, things like that. So if we're thinking of effective adjectives to describe. So, quick quiz time. Circle the 3 adjectives in the following sentence. So, we visited a magnificent hotel which had stunning rooms and crystal clear swimming pools. So, my first adjective I'm going to circle is magnificent. My second is going to be stunning, and I know that all of these come before the nouns, and then crystal clear is my third one. Complete the sentence with a powerful adjective to describe the waves. All at once, the something waves began to attack the boat. So I might want to say my adjective there. I am going to choose ferocious. You can have a range of adjectives there. Which sentence uses clear as an adjective? My mum told me to clear the table after dinner. It was clear. It was a clear day without a cloud in the sky. So I know in that question, my second one has clear as an adjective. Okay, moving on to conjunctions. So conjunctions link two or more words, phrases, or clauses together. And we've got two different types of conjunctions. We have coordinating conjunctions, which link main clauses together to create a compound sentence. And in order to help us to remember coordinating conjunctions, we can remember fanboys. For and nor, but, or, yet, and so. And the other type of conjunctions we have are subordinating. And subordinating conjunctions link a subordinate clause, which does not make sense on its own, to a main clause. And we can remember subordinating conjunctions with wabbits. So when, as, and after, before, because, if, though, since. Now that's not an exhaustive list. There are more subordinating conjunctions, but that's just a useful way for you to remember them. So, quick quiz time. Circle the coordinating conjunctions. I like hockey, but I do not like netball, so I know that I'm going to circle but there. Would you like to go swimming or to the cinema for your birthday? Well, I know or is my other coordinating conjunction there. Insert a subordinating conjunction in the sentence below. John played in the pool, something, the whistle was blown. Now, I'm going to put until in that one there. I could also say because, I could say as, I could say while. There's a few different ones you could use, but I think until would make most sense there. Choose the conjunction which best fits each of the sentences. Use each conjunction once. So, something I was excited, I felt a bit nervous. I'm going to put although in my first box there. Don't go into the pool until you have had a shower. And I was hungry because I hadn't eaten lunch. Perfect. Okay, now pronouns. Pronouns are used to replace nouns, and we can use pronouns in our writing to avoid repetition. So they are also used as a cohesive device. So rather than saying Josie went to the shop, Josie bought some fruit and vegetables, rather than repeating Josie, I could replace Josie with she. She bought some fruit and vegetables rather than keeping on saying Josie. I've also got possessive pronouns, and these show ownership. So it is Sarah's birthday. It is her birthday. Her would be my possessive pronoun there. And then relative pronouns to help us to describe a noun. So things like who, which, whose, that are our relative pronouns. So quick quiz time. Circle the relative pronoun below. Sam, whose hair was blonde, decided to dye it blue. So I would circle whose in that first one. Read the sentences and underline the possessive pronouns. Are those pencils yours? Yours is the possessive pronoun there. The sandwich is mine, but I will share it with you. Mine should be underlined there. And her sister fell over and she helped her up. Her is the possessive pronoun there. And then when Replace the underlined words with the correct pronoun. So let's have a quick look at this one. So we have, when Natalie visited her grandma took Natalie shopping. Natalie had some money and Natalie was excited to spend her money. So I would replace her grandma. So when Natalie visited her grandma, she took her shopping. Natalie had some money, and I would replace Natalie there with a she. I'm really sorry, I don't have much space. And I would replace her money with it. So the final answer would be, when Natalie visited her grandma, she took her shopping. Natalie had some money, and she was excited to spend it. Okay, adverbs. So adverbs lower down in the school, in Key Stage 1 and lower Key Stage 2, we might identify adverbs as words which end with ly. But as we get further up the school, we will recognise them not always as ly words. They don't always end in ly. But adverbs are words that describe a verb, or they can also describe an adjective. So, I'd ride my scooter everywhere shows how I ride. It describes the verb. She bravely entered the haunted house. Instantly, the door swung open. So do you see, yes, here we have two which end in ly, but everywhere doesn't end in ly. Fronted adverbials, we can also call them adverbials because they're not, if they're at the front of a sentence, then they are fronted adverbials, but they can also be at other points in the sentence. So it also is used to describe the action that follows, so that they can tell us when something happens, where something happens, in what order, how often something happens, and how. You can also remember tramp, so time, reason, manner, and place. When, why, how, and where something happens. Quick quiz time. Tick the adverb in the sentence. Sprinting confidently, Josh came first in the 100-metre race. I will tick confidently because that is my adverb. Rewrite the sentence below with the adverbial at the front of the sentence. Use the same words in the correct punctuation. The boys went to play football after they had finished their dinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my adverbial first. So my adverbial is going to be after they had finished their dinner, comma after fronted adverbial, the boys went to play football. And that would be a nice easy one mark. Circle the adverbs in the sentences below. So in my first sentence there, it's going to be anxiously. And in my second sentence, it's going to be completely. It won't let me circle that, but anxiously and completely for that one. Okay, prepositions. So prepositions, there's a little clue in the word there, the position. It describes position, time, or movement. So for example, I travel abroad on an aeroplane. The bag was under the chair. She swam across the pool. Now, there are some prepositions which can also be subordinating conjunctions. So at, when, as, after, until, before, and since, they're also used as prepositions. So quick quiz time. Tick the sentences which contain a preposition. I jump on the bouncy castle when I know that on is a preposition there, so I will tick that one. My book is under my bed. I'm going to tick that one, and I'm going to underline under because that is my preposition. And we always eat breakfast. I don't have a preposition there. If I said we always eat breakfast at the table, then that would be, but in this case, there's no preposition there. Write a sentence using through as a preposition. So I might want to say, cautiously I tiptoed through the corridor. I could add more detail, but there, through is my preposition. And then my last one there is going to be circle the prepositions in this sentence. After the holidays, I went back to school in London. So there we would have after, and we would have in, would be my two prepositions there. On to determiners now. So determiners are small words. They come before a noun and they give us more detail. So the main ones we can remember are also articles, so a, an, and the. So if I gave you this quick quiz question, circle the determiners in the sentence. Tom lives in a new house in Uxbridge with his mum and sister. So I would have a, and in this sentence, his would also be a determiner. It comes before a noun. On to subject and object now. So when we're looking at subject and object, this can help us identify active and passive voice, which I'm going to come on to in a little bit more detail in another video. But if I'm looking at the subject of a sentence, that is the person, the thing that is doing the action. And the object of a sentence is the person or thing that comes after the verb, and it shows what the verb is acting on. So in this short sentence here, Samantha baked a cake. Samantha is my subject. She is the person who is doing the action and which is baking. And the object is the cake. That is the thing that she is making. So Samantha baked a cake. And when we look at sentences which are in the active voice, it will go in the order of subject, verb, and object. Whereas if a sentence is in the passive voice, it will be the object would usually go first. So the cake was baked by Samantha. Okay, so quick quiz. If you'd like to stop this now and then mark it along with me, we can do. So underline the subject in the sentence. She photographed the flowers. Well, I would know that she is the subject there. Photographed is going to be my verb, and then flowers is going to be my object. Which sentences are written in the active voice? I read a book about dogs last month. I'm going to give that one a tick. The fence was blown down by the wind. Well, I know that is passive, so I can't tick that one. And Nat painted a picture of the seaside. I can tick that one because it is in the active voice. And then number 3, rewrite the sentence in the active voice. So the whiteboards were cleaned by Michelle and Danny. So for my sentence here, I need to switch it around. So I need Michelle and Danny to become my subject. So Michelle and Danny cleaned the whiteboards. So if you can see, we've gone from object, verb, subject to subject, verb, object as our answer there.